Last season, Bungie reworked the Gyrfalcon's Hallberg exotic chest piece for hunters, turning it into one of the best exotics a hunter can use. Now, when we leave invisibility, you gain volatile rounds, and with the invis capabilities of the Void Hunter subclass, you can pretty much always have volatile rounds up for free. Pairing that with the artifact mod Volatile Flow, you will pretty much always have volatile rounds up, as well as gain a ton of super energy and ability energy thanks to the new ways to build craft. If you enjoy this video, a like and subscription means a ton to me and helps out a lot. Now let's get into it. Our subclass is going to be the main portion of importance when it comes to this build, so we can fully take advantage of the exotic perk of Gyrfalcons. Our super is going to be the Deadfall Tether, as I find this to be one of the most beneficial in PvE when paired with this exotic. Next up is the Marksman Dodge, so we can reload our weapons upon going invisible, which is in my opinion more useful than the melee in this situation. Movement ability of your choice, and then Snare Bomb is next, followed by Vortex Nades, which saw a 20% damage buff with the launch of Lightfall. Our aspects are going to be Vanishing Step, so we can go invisible simply by dodging, and then Stylish Executioner. I choose Stylish here as it allows us to gain invisibility by defeating a target affected by any void debuff, and that includes volatile rounds. You also weaken enemies when you use a melee attack while invis from the Stylish Executioner aspect. There's about a 3-second cooldown after you activate it, so you will have a short cooldown on invis from it, but that doesn't really affect anything. Because we are using these two aspects, we also gain access to 4 fragment slots here. We are going to go with the Echo of Remnants to start, which allow our grenades to last for a longer duration. Next is the Echo of Persistence, which allows all void buffs like Invisibility, Devour, and Overshield to have a longer duration, and with this build here, we have literally all of those active. Echo of Cessation is next. Finisher Final Blows create a burst of void damage that causes nearby targets to become volatile, and also creates a Void Breach when you defeat a volatile target. Void Breaches are the new subclass specific elemental well-like objects that spawn with different ways, and Void Breaches will grant class ability energy, allowing us to gain our dodge back faster. Since we are utilizing volatile rounds a ton with this build, we will be spawning Void Breaches like no tomorrow. Echo of Starvation will round out the build here, which grants us Devour anytime we pick up an Orb of Power or a Void Breach, making us not only a Void Explosion machine, but also a very tanky one, as we are going to be constantly getting Void Breaches and Orbs to spawn, as well as refreshing the Devour timer each time we get a kill while it's active. This build is a perfect Void Hunter build with great ad clear potential, as well as a ton of survivability and the ability to make all enemies volatile on command. If we want to take this build to the next level and basically always have an Overshield on top of Devour and volatile rounds, utilize a weapon that has the perk Repulsor Brace. This is hands down one of my favorite weapon perks in the game, as anytime we defeat an enemy affected by a Void debuff, like being volatile, we gain a 45 HP Void Overshield for 8 seconds, which is increased by our fragment Echo of Persistence. The brand new Void Waveframe Harsh Language is a perfect weapon for this situation, as it rolls with the new perk Envious Assassin, which lets you have up to 3 shots in the magazine if you get 15 kills with a different weapon before pulling it out, or 2 in the mag by simply defeating 1 enemy before pulling it out. If you haven't been blessed with the drop of this weapon, then here are some other ones that have Repulsor Brace. The Unforgiven 750 RPM SMG from the Duality Dungeon, the Hollow Denial Trace Rifle from Season of the Haunted, Velis X, the 4-round burst pulse rifle that was last season's ritual weapon, the Hero's Burden 900 RPM SMG from Iron Banner, or even the Doom of Chelchis 180 RPM scout rifle from King's Fall. There are more weapons with this perk, but those are just a few I recommend. You can also utilize a super underrated weapon perk for kinetics, which is Osmosis, which changes your kinetic weapon to match your subclass when you throw your grenade, so you gain volatile rounds on your kinetic weapon as well. This escape velocity with overflow osmosis is one of my favorites that has osmosis in the game, as we can get a large magazine for our SMG while not only having volatile rounds on our kinetic weapon. If you grab Volatile Flow from the artifact, you can get volatile rounds from picking up an Orb of Power as well, and then you can build further into Void in the artifact by taking Authorized Mods Void, Authorized Mods Grenades, Bricks from Beyond, which grants you the chance to create heavy for you and your team by defeating a powerful enemy with a Void weapon, or even Void Weapon Channeling, which works like the weapon perk Surplus, but increasing damage to your Void weapons similar to the Void Weapon Surge mods for each of your charged abilities. This stacks in this way. 1 charged ability equals a 10% damage buff, 2 abilities equals 17%, 3 equals 22%, and all of your abilities and your super equals a 25% damage buff. This allows you to have more damage buffs than a weapon surge. However, it requires you not to use any abilities, which isn't ideal in most situations, so this one is pretty circumstantial. Now, for stat recommendations and armor mods, I recommend going with higher resilience, mobility, and discipline, so you can utilize this build to the highest extent. Now, for armor mods. On the helmet, run 2 ashes to asset, and a void siphon mod, so that we can get more super back from grenade kills, as well as create orbs of power from void weapon kills. On the gauntlets, we have 2 grenade kickstarts, as well as 1 firepower, so we can get more orbs from grenade kills, as well as gain grenade energy back from our armor charges. The chest piece will have 2 charged ups, or 1 charged up and some sort of resistance mod, depending on the activity you're playing. I would recommend the latter if you are playing in a higher level activity where enemies hit harder, so you can have a bit more survivability. The boots will then have stacks on stacks, as well as 2 innervation mods, so we can get our grenade energy back from picking up orbs, as well as get 2 armor charges for every orb we pick up. Lastly, on the class item, I have 3 bombers here, so we can get a lot of grenade energy back from dodging when we go invisible to gain those volatile rounds. This build is essential for any hunter main, as it allows for so much spamming of your volatile rounds, as well as some pretty good grenade spam and insane survivability thanks to Devour and Void Overshields. I will 100% be taking this into the day 1 raid and so many other activities, as it is a all-around phenomenal build for endgame activities. If you enjoyed the video, again, a like and subscription means a ton to me. I appreciate each and every one of you make it to the end here, and if you want to check out some more of my content, both my Twitch and TikTok will be linked in the description below. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.